All right, let's take a look at this bracket and talk a little bit about who's going where and who's going to win it all and all that good stuff before I announce my women's basketball 2024 bracket challenge, which is going to have some exciting prizes and all kinds of good stuff that you can win if you choose to participate. So number one, South Carolina, nobody's shocked by that. But you know what I am shocked by? I am shocked that in looking at the ESPN bracket challenge, that at the time that I filled out one of my brackets, that only 36% of the people who had voted selected South Carolina as the winner of the 2024 National Championship Trophy. Only 36% chose South Carolina. I'm looking at this thing going, who else do y'all think is going to win? Well, apparently 31% believes that Iowa is going to win. 4.9% believe it's going to be LSU. UConn at 4%, USC at 3.5%, Texas at 3%, and then there's a Notre Dame a little under that, and Ohio State. That kind of surprised me because the sentiment online, at least in these boards and message boards and all that good stuff, had South Carolina overwhelmingly, South Carolina fans overwhelmingly present when it comes to talking about how good their team is. Overwhelmingly. And we know there are a lot of South Carolina fans. So the fact that only 36% of the people who've done their votes, okay, we're going to say that maybe everybody hasn't done they haven't done their bracket challenge results yet. That shocked me. I was expecting it to be something like 60%, 70%. Why do y'all think only 36% of the voters have selected South Carolina? I'll tell you what I think. I'm going to always say what I think. Number one, I'm going to say, okay, number one, possibly a lot of folks hadn't, at the time that I was doing my vote, they have not put their votes in. Okay, that's one possible remote possibility. Second thing is I think that sometimes when you are so good, and this happened to Connecticut, when you are so good and you just keep winning, it has the opposite effect. People start wanting you to lose. They start wanting there to be a different champion. This happened with right, nod your head. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about, right? You start thinking, I'm tired of seeing Connecticut. I'm tired of seeing South Carolina. I'm tired of that. Happens. It has that effect. So not surprised that it wasn't overwhelmingly South Carolina from that standpoint. That's called the hateration effect. The hateration effect kicked in, and some people just don't want South Carolina to win. The third reason, because I was totally shocked that 31.5% said Iowa. That is all about Caitlin, as we know. All right? The halo effect for Caitlin Clark is off the charts, to the point that people have lost, to me, a sense of reality about what could possibly happen. There is no way, if you're looking at it very unbiasedly, if you will, that Iowa is going to win a national championship. Now, is it possible? Absolutely. Hell, it's possible that Maine will win. Everything is possible. Is it likely? No. I don't think it's likely that Iowa is going to win the national championship. I do believe it's possible, but I do not believe it's likely. But the fact that 31%, almost the same percentage that said that the undefeated Gamecocks of South Carolina were going to win, or almost the same percentage said that Iowa was going to win. To me, that's crazy. To me, that's just, I don't know what that's just wild to me. It's wild. But again, possible, not likely. I will be, there are only a couple teams that I'm going to be completely shocked if they don't win. And that's South Carolina. If South Carolina does not win the national title, I am going to be shocked for a couple reasons. Number one, they're undefeated. Number two, they're that good. Number three, yes, they've had some close games, but then they went in and closed those people out too. So it's just highly unlikely that South Carolina is going to be beaten. And to me, it's highly unlikely that Iowa is not going to be beaten. And the reason is Iowa is playing in a tough region. I mean, you thought I was going to say because they don't have enough firepower? Yeah, they're good enough to win. Iowa is good enough to win the national title, but do I think they're going to be able to get through the teams that they have to beat to get there? I do not. I think they are playing in a super tough region. West Virginia, tough. Princeton, playing well. Colorado, spicy. Louisville, LSU, UNLV playing better. UCLA, are you kidding me? If Iowa gets out of there, I'm going to be shocked. I truly am. That is a tough region. Yep, call it what it is. It's very tough. When I look at the Portland 3 with USC at the top, I'm kind of like, about USC at the top of that, to be honest with you. I think it's the JuJu effect. I'm not mad at it, but I am kind of surprised by it. Nevertheless, Southern Cal, I don't know that Southern Cal will get out of Portland. I'm looking at Ohio State. I'm looking at UConn. That's Virginia Tech. Michigan, that's going to be tough. Yep, I said it. That's going to be tough for USC to come out of there, even as a top seed, and beat folks. Now I'm looking at back over here at Southern Cal, not Southern Cal, but South Carolina and Texas. South Carolina, let's see, tough for South Carolina. If they make it, Notre Dame for show. Ole Miss, if they make it, going to be competitive. Indiana's a possibility. North Carolina, no question about it. That's a pretty competitive region. Let's go where Texas is. I'm going to call it like it is. I'm going to keep it a buck. This is not as strong a region as, let's say, the one that Iowa is in. I think it's comparable to the others, but definitely not as tough as the Iowa region. So Texas definitely deserved, in my opinion, to be top seeded. But this is, you got Tennessee. Okay, that's good. NC State, those could be tough. Maryland, Iowa State. I mean, Stanford. These are not cupcakes. I'm not saying they're cupcakes by any stretch of the imagination. But they certainly don't present, in my opinion, the challenge that I'm looking at over here in Albany too. No, ma'am, they do not. Oh, sir, they do not. I think Albany too. If I had to rank the four, I would say Albany 2 is the toughest. I would say maybe Portland 3, then Portland 4, and last but not least, Albany 1. That's what I think now. Am I thinking that because I'm looking at the top seeds and I'm like, these people are not going to beat South Carolina? Probably not. Here's a question. This is a question that's been asked every single year that the Final Four has been in existence. Is the committee trying to make sure that certain teams win? These are not questions that people usually ask on the record, but these are the questions that fans want to talk about. Do you think that the region that South Carolina is in is designed to help South Carolina get to the Final Four? That is a question for you. Do you think the fact that some folks were surprised that Iowa was even a number 1 seed, do you think that's because they want Caitlin Clark to get to the Final Four, at least have the opportunity to play on the biggest stage her last season? Do you think that the JuJu Watkins effect is why Southern Cal got the top seed? Do you think that Texas deserved the top seed in Portland 4? Those are 4 really good questions. I got to say, if I have to say so myself, those are good questions. I want to know your thoughts on that. But more importantly, here's the deal. Every year I do a bracket challenge. Now, this is being sponsored by my company, which is called Electra. Some of you may have seen me on Shark Tank launching my electrolyte, my natural electrolyte drink company in 2021. We're relaunching the company with new powders, new design, new formula, all that great stuff this summer during the WNBA season. So you're going to come to ESPN and take the challenge, the women's challenge, get your bracket. And then once you get your bracket, you're going to search here, the heading that says groups. You're going to put in Electra. And as you can see, there are 3 3 challenge brackets in here. We just did this last night. So you're going to join that group. The winner will be announced Sunday, April 7th at 12 p.m. Central. That is the day the championship game will be played. Now, the way the Electra Bracket Challenge works is that we are going to award the winner who gets the final 4 teams predicted correctly. So if there's one person, then we know who the winner is. If there are 3 or 4 people, 5 or 6 people who guess correctly who the 4 final teams will be in the final 4, then we are going to do what's like a lotto ball. We're going to put you in a randomizer. We're going to do this live on YouTube, on my channel. We're going to do this live, and we're going to pick the winner from the randomizer. So we put all the names in the randomizer. So it's very important that your name be on your bracket when you submit it to the group. And then we will pick one winner, and then we will announce that winner. Okay, if you have any questions, put the questions, the comments in the actual YouTube comment section, and we'll answer those. But it's pretty straightforward. We're not interested in the people who get 20 correct guesses. We're only interested in the final folks who guessed correctly the 4 teams that would make it to the final 4. All right? It will be announced on my YouTube channel, Women's Basketball TV, Sunday, April 7th, 12 noon. We'll see you there. Good luck.